Hello, this is Rick Saltarelli with Salty Breeze Cruise Planners with this week's segment of Beyond Your Front Door. And today I have Alyssa from ETS Travel. Welcome, Alyssa, to our show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. It is, I know that this could be played any season, but right now it has been 60 degrees the past couple of weeks in Florida and I'm freezing. I cannot wait.
Look at me. I got my vest on. I love this time of year because I get to wear a vest. So let's talk about ETS. ETS is a company that not a lot of people may have heard of. So could you share with us the history of ETS and what it is that you do today?
Yes. We have actually been around since 1974. ETS was founded by a Methodist pastor in 1974. A lot of times when you hear of people going to Israel, more than likely they went with either our company or one of our branches. So if you've heard of someone going with a church group, most of the time it probably is with us, even though you may not have heard of us. We are a tour operator. And so we design all of the trips, and then we have people, like the travel advisors go out there and promote it. So we're kind of in the background, but we are the #1 tour operators of Christian travel. And we are the leaders in faith-based travel. And a lot of people don't know we're actually, we have won many awards with the cruise lines because not only do we do land faith-based travel, we do cruise faith-based travel as well. So we are a top supplier for well-known brands like AMA Waterways, Royal Caribbean, Costa Cruise Lines, NCL, Azamara, just to name a few.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you are a great operator to work with. When we think about trips to the Holy Land or faith-based travel in general, I always think of ETS.
Yeah.
And so what about your path in this industry? What has that been like?
So our path in the industry is that we started with travel. So like I said, we were founded by a Methodist pastor. And what happened was, his name is Dr. Ridgway. He traveled, he was a newly ordained minister. And to become a pastor or a priest, it is not a prerequisite to actually go to Israel, even though it should. So he felt, after he went for the very first time to Israel, he felt like God was telling him to start a travel ministry. And so we started working with churches around the United States to get pastors and priests and spiritual leaders to lead their congregations to the Holy Land, because Dr. Ridgway felt like it was a life-changing journey that not many people offer. And so we were founded with travel to Israel. We own hotels in Israel. Dr. Ridgway is one of the 2 people that hold a hypothetical key to the city of Bethlehem. It's him and Jimmy Carter. So we've really paved the way in faith-based travel in Israel. But our path has been that we started in Israel, but then these pastors and these priests, they would come back and they would say, we want to go where our founding fathers were, where John Knox went to Scotland, and going into where the religion started and where it took place in history. So we have trips to England and to Ireland and on cruises. I mean, God really is everywhere. So our path started with Israel, and it still is our bread and butter with our operations there. But when the churches come back, they want to go other places. And so we've had to branch out and do a bunch of other countries and cruises as well.
Sure. And you actually led me into my next question, because you talked about the faith leaders going and then bringing others with them. And so while there are people that may prefer to travel alone, many also prefer to go as a group if somebody would just take them. Why do you think that is?
So I was actually telling you before this call that, most of the time when you've heard of someone going to Israel, chances are they're Jewish and they've gone on a birthright trip, or they've gone with their church. And 95% of the business the people from the United States that go to Israel are actually going with their church group. Because when you think about Israel, you think of getting baptized in the Jordan River, or you think about going into the Sea of Galilee, going on one of the Jesus's boats. These are the pictures that you see, and having a pastor lead you on the Sea of Galilee, or going to the Western Wall and praying, all being led by your spiritual leader. So ETS, actually, we were founded again by a pastor, and he felt like it was so important for us to get the pastors and the priests to be leading their congregations, people like you who want to travel to Israel. So we offer a free trip for the pastors and for the priests. And we know that all of the congregational members would love for their leaders to lead them and their people, the people that they congregate with every Sunday, or that they're at mass with every day. That's who you want to go to Israel with. It is interesting because all of the flights and all of the hotels, like the flights going to Israel, they're all red eyes, because typically speaking, most of the business going to Israel and the people coming to Israel are coming from all around the United States. If you've got a church here, like I live in Tampa, some of the churches here in Tampa, you may have a cousin coming from California, or a family member or a best friend coming from Minnesota. And so all of those people are traveling to the Northeast, to like New York, to fly over to Tel Aviv together. So that's why it's a red eye going there and coming home. So so much of the trips to Israel are based on a church group going.
And so I'm sure there are people that are listening to this are saying, wow, what a great experience this would be to go with my church group. What would you suggest for them to do as a next step?
So we how do I word this right? People want to go to Israel, but they feel like it's unsafe, or they feel like it's a third world country, or they don't know what they're going to be eating when they get there. But when a pastor trusts, they know where their days are, they know where their next days are coming. They read the Bible. They have this faith in God, and they want to get back to Israel, which is everyone's land, like everyone's hometown. That's where, a lot of things started. And so I would encourage people to go and approach their tour leader, and we can hop on a conference call. You can hop on a conference call and help them to be able to design that trip, so that their church, they're giving the opportunity for their church to travel to Israel together. What better way to have communion with people, or to be able to not only experience, the people that you're experiencing life with and that you're talking to and you're praying with, being able to pray with them in Israel and take them to Israel. But it all really starts with the head of the church. And so we'd be more than happy to help start that with you and the church.
Sure, that's great. And I do know from chatting to clients that have gone before that they have always said to me, going with other people that they go to church with and going with their faith leader, but then also their experience in Israel makes the Bible come very alive for them.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Sure. And so this may be a tough question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you feel is the most enriching experience or itinerary?
That is funny, because we have 6 different Holy Land itineraries that we offer as guaranteed departure dates, which means that anybody can join on. If you want to go to Israel, you can hop on any one of our tours that's listed in our brochures, and we will have a pastor or a priest leading those tours. So anybody can join on with them. But they're all different, and they are specific to whatever your lifestyle is, really. We have a Bible and Discovery Tour, which is 8 days in Israel. It's a low-cost program. It's around $2,500, including your flight, your breakfast and dinner daily, your hotel arrangements. And you are really being able to experience everything that you would want to, getting baptized in the Jordan River, going to the Western Wall. You have a Holy Land Classic, which is 10 days, which is our best seller. And that's great for a first-time person that would want to go. We have other itineraries, like our Journey Through the Bible and our Bible Land Exploration, which are more advanced, people that want to see more. You're going to go to 8 sites in a day. So, your wake up calls at 5:30 a.m., you're down for breakfast at 6:30, you're out the door by 8, you don't get back until 5. And the entire day is filled with historical and biblical sites that you really get to just fully digest each one of the sites. And don't forget, we also offer extensions on all of our programs into Jordan and into Egypt. So you can float down the Nile River and see the way that the people are living on the Nile, on little boats, and being able to see that. And it's just quick flight away or a quick border crossing away. A lot of people they go to Egypt and Jordan along with Israel, because when you're in the Middle East once, you try to get as much as you can. Another enriching program is Oberammergau is actually coming, the Passion Play. And so that is coming in 2022. And that is a once in a lifetime experience. And it only happens every 10 years for those of you that know about the Passion Play that's in the little town of Oberammergau. So we are one of the top suppliers that do that season as well.
And Oberammergau is in Germany, correct?
It's in Germany. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so not in Israel. And do you have a favorite itinerary, or do you have perhaps a memory from your very first visit to Israel that you could share with us?
You know, I have been with ETS. A lot of people will not believe it, but I've been here for 11 years. And I remember they took a chance on me. I was a recent college graduate during the downturn of the economy. It was in 2009. And so I started here in 2010. And they said, you know what, Elissa, we see you as someone that's really going to grow with the company, maybe a manager someday. We'd love to get you to Israel, Egypt, and Jordan for 2 months when I was 24 years old. And I said, if I'm going for 2 months, you've got to let me bring somebody with me. So I brought my sister with me. My sister was actually a proclaimed atheist at the time. Never forget bringing her along with me. And, God really spoke to her. It was such a life-changing journey, not only for me. I was able to really grow in my own faith, but seeing my sister really come alive, someone that had no belief system in her life. She came back, fully lives her life for Christ. She is one of my spiritual leaders now. She helps out with youth ministry in her church. My oldest nephew wants to be a pastor now. And, being able to see her life completely change, she stopped everything she was doing. She followed in God's path. She's now a midwife, a very successful home birth midwife. And before that, she didn't really have a path. And this is just one person's journey that I was able to experience. And I continue to get to experience it because this is 10 years now down the road after that one incredible journey that has changed my entire family's life. And last year in 2020, we would have sent 40,000 people to the Holy Land. So that is 40,000 lives that are going to be changed. These are really trips of a lifetime. This is not a vacation. This is a life-changing journey that we offer here at ETS. And that keeps me here 11 years later. And I don't plan on going anywhere else anytime soon.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, because you can really tell how heartfelt that is.
Yeah.
And so this is my final question today. What would you say to the traveler that's been listening to us today? They're a little hesitant. They know this would be a life-changing experience. What would you tell them?
I would say that I always tell people, if you don't go to Israel now, you never will. One of the biggest problems that people see is that they think that Israel is unsafe. Israel is probably one of the safest countries in the entire world. They are so well protected, and they really protect their people incredibly well. Every single person that lives in Israel has to join the military at 18 years old for 2 years. And they are an extremely safe country to go to. And, Israel also has the highest repeat business. So that you feel comfortable, I'm just giving you a little bit of statistics. Israel has the highest repeat business, and that is because it is so safe. That is because it is the trip of a lifetime. And that is because there are things there that you'll never be able to experience anywhere else. And every time you go, there's something else that you are experiencing. Something very interesting is that in July of 2019, a brand new site was opened called Pilgrimage Road. Pilgrimage Road was a road that took you from the Pool of Siloam all the way to the Temple Mount 3,000 years ago, that was built by King Solomon. You're walking on history. Can you experience that anywhere else in the world? You can't. It is on every single person's bucket list, and we are here to make you feel completely comfortable, completely safe. We have boots on the ground. We have hospitality staff that works inside of our hotels. And who is our hospitality staff? These are ordained pastors that have retired from their ministry, and they join on with us and they live inside of the hotels to greet you so that you have an American face right when you get to these hotels, and they're there to welcome you. If you've got any problems, medical issues, have to be taken to the hospital, we are there for you every single step of the way to make sure that you are completely comfortable. But again, if you don't go now, you never will. And you can have one of those life-changing journeys that I've had and that my sister has, and that the 500,000 people that have traveled with us would have too.
Oh, that's amazing. So I've been talking to Alyssa from ETS Travel. And so we talked, it's a safe country to visit. It's very affordable. I know the culinary experience there is pretty amazing.
Yep.
And so if you are interested in a travel anywhere where ETS goes, but especially to Israel, please reach out to us at Salty Breeze Cruise Planners. We help create lifelong lasting memories. And it starts with a call to us at 888-332-8202. And if you or your pastor give us a call, we'll get ETS on the phone. We'll do a three-way call and get all those questions answered. So thank you, Alyssa, for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And I guess we will see you in Jerusalem.
Yes, thank you.